Hello and welcome to the main stage productions here at the Miskatonic Playhouse. I'm T.A. Newman, your host and keeper of tonight's game. My team and I will be bringing to life adventures using the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu role-playing game, which contains mature themes, cosmic horror, character death, and loss of sanity. Our mystery can be found in the Miskatonic repository, where people like you and me can write adventures for others to play. We'd like to thank Sirenscape, whose tools have provided the background sounds that you hear. And if you'd like to become a friend of the Playhouse, then please support us on Ko-fi. That's ko-fi.com/Miskatonic Playhouse, where you can gain access to exclusive shows and content for as little as £1. Minds are shattered and friendships frayed as the investigators leave the Madson homestead and venture into lakeside woodlands, the possible source of Mrs. Madson's madness. There the investigators are stalked and cornered by wolves from the dark forest. But now it's time to pull back the curtain and roll the dice. Welcome to Act 4 of the Castle of Greed. We are going to return right into the fray where Wendy Levine has just run away from her friends and directly into the clutches of a shadow tentacled fiery mouth. I believe Dr. McDonald calls him Mr. Fiery Mouth individual who is now staring at you, Wendy Levine. The world has gone dark. There is nothing but you and the fiery mouth of this shadow tentacled creature. You are under no illusion that what you are looking at is inhuman. It has no eyes, just a shadowy being, and you can see, you can feel in your core, without these eyes, it is staring right at you, its fiery mouth burning like a furnace. And every time it opens or closes its mouth, you hear that sound of air rushing in and this furnace being stoked. And it looks at you and says, "Release him." Wendy, how are you feeling?
Feel like I need a sand check. I'm gonna go ahead and give that to you now.
Yeah, you are.
I'm gonna go ahead and let you live on that one. That feels real good. First and foremost, that's a 28 under 47.
Okay. We're gonna hold on to that for a second. I'm just gonna make a note.
Nope, I love it. So I'm running full speed, trying to escape this soul-shattering fear from the hounds. This populates in front of me. I think it's one of those things like, you know, when you're running really fast and you try to throw the brakes on too fast,
yes,
and your back feet sweep out from underneath you. I think I'm just gonna go straight to the ground, as like my momentum was carrying me one way, but my panic is now trying to carry me a different way.
Perfect.
Miranda did this really sexy line in episode 3. Is like there's a difference. Your nervous system hits fight, flight, or freeze. Like there's different ways to approach it. I think the only thing I can focus on right now is I've been given a task. What is the task with exacting clarity? I think as I'm trying to get back up, using my palms to grind into this jutting rock and get back to my feet. Who? Release who?
You mutter those words, release who. You're expecting to feel that rock beneath you as you push yourself up, but it's not there, Wendy.
Damn it.
You're not on the path. You are surrounded by blackness. You are surrounded by this void of nothingness. You are surrounded, and the grin smiles, this blood-curdling, otherworldly grin. You feel your legs grow cold, your arms grow numb. You're frozen. Every molecule in your being is telling you to run in the opposite direction, but you can't move. You don't even find yourself looking at its full form. With that sanity roll, you are looking almost at it through your peripheral vision. Everything, Wendy, drops into darkness. Dr. McDonald, Reverend Culver, you have both seen this gigantic, horse-sized, mangy, wild, red-eyed dog that's growled in such a way that not only does the ground beneath your feet shake, but the lake itself has rippled as Christina is running towards you, having just been bitten on the should we call it the flank? The glutamus maximus, Christina, as a firm kind of few teeth marks now in the right buttock, as which you saw Christina kind of yelp but quite brilliantly continue running towards you. And Christina, what was it you were saying in contrast to your earlier statement?
Real, it's real, it's real.
It's real, it's real, it's real. And you see these dogs turn, and this big dog with these two massive paws bound on the ground, and you see dust and mist swirl at these movements. Reverend, Christina, Doctor, what do you do in this moment?
Run.
I think the Reverend is gonna pause for that second or however long it is. I think he feels it's a very short pause, but then is gonna launch himself forward and place himself in between Christina and this demon as he now sees it, and hold up his cross, or maybe hold up this halberd that he's sanctified in the name of the Lord. And he's going to start, sort of mumbling at first, but then espousing holy words to try and exorcise this demon.
I like it. So Christina's running straight past the Reverend, just getting the hell out of Dodge, or El Dorado, as some might say. The Reverend is stopping, holding up a crucifix and a letter opener-sized halberd that has been blessed in holy water, and is now saying such phrases as "the power of Christ compels you" to this giant demonic dog and its minion-sized normal dogs. Dr. McDonald, what are you doing?
Dr. McDonald kind of drops to her knees and, in a way, wants to supplicate herself to this god dog that is in front of her. Obviously, works for Firemouth. They work together. Perhaps this is an extension of Firemouth, so I will begin to get on my hands and knees and kind of crawl towards it and looking up at it. Yes, I will do whatever you want, doggy. I will free him. I will free whoever. You just tell me what you want me to do.
Excellent. The way I'm envisaging this is Christina's running down the hill. Reverend, you've stepped behind Christina, holding up your crucifix and your halberd. Dr. McDonald, you were running up the hill, weren't you, before you saw this horrific thing? So I imagine you somewhat slightly ahead. And in this moment, Christina, you're running. You look behind you. The Reverend stops turning. You're running. You turn. You look. You are surrounded by complete darkness, Christina. Complete darkness. Whichever direction you turn in, wherever you spin, right, left, full circle, complete darkness. There is no one. There is nothing. You are in a void. You feel a heat behind your head, Christina. You hear a crackling of the furnace burning.
I turn around.
Confronted with this face, the face you saw in the fire. And when I say face, there's no face. There's this slightly more picture dark void of an outline of a being that seems to have these writhing tentacle-like features, but this flaming mouth that's now in your face. You can feel your skin drying instantly and almost flaking, as in your face it just says, "Release him."
I fall to my knees and supplicate myself before the Firemouth.
The second person to fall to their knees in a matter of moments. Reverend, you see quite a unique sight. Dr. Vina McDonald has dropped to her knees too, and I think the words, if I just make sure I'm saying this right, is drop to my knees in front of the dog god or god dog that clearly works for Firemouth. I love that we've got such a
unique
academic
mythology that's developing
unique
here.
mythology that's evolving. Yeah, from this academic. I can't wait to read this book on, my time with God, Dog, and Firemouth by Dr. Vina McDonald. But Dr. Vina McDonald, you are down on your knees looking up. The three smaller dogs casually walk past you. They are now walking towards Reverend Culver. They are eyes locked onto Reverend Culver. Normal dog eyes, but they are wild. Their lips are back. Their teeth are bared. They are snarling. There is drool. They are walking towards you, Reverend Culver, with a purpose. Dr. Vina McDonald, they walk past you. But before you, some might say, is the dog god who paws up. You feel the ground reverberating as it walks up to you, and you are kneeling here before it. Its head leans down to where you are, Dr. McDonald, and its nose stops about a centimeter away from yours. It opens its mouth. The smell, the stench, the decay, as it slowly, ever so slowly, inch by inch by inch, leans forward with you now in its mouth. You can feel the hot breath whipping your hair around your face. And then a voice from somewhere else. Release. The dog begins to pull back, its head standing up. It turns and it runs off into the mist. The three dogs, Reverend Culver, right before you, baring their teeth, now only a foot away from you, all looking ready to pounce. They look back. They see the dog god turning and running. They then instantly turn on their hind legs, disappear into the mist. You see the mist twist and swirl behind them. You, Reverend, and you, Dr. McDonald, heard that voice coming from somewhere behind you. Release. What do you do, Reverend?
I think he's dripping with sweat at this point. And I think he feels that he's like hounded away these demons and he has been somewhat successful. Maybe, I think, obviously he is a believer, that's part of who he is, but it may be disingenuously. But now finally he feels that connection with his faith and he spins round again. Maybe not bearing his cross, but bearing the Bible, which maybe if someone was very clear-eyed, they might notice there is a paper sticking out the side of it. And I guess faces this voice if there is something behind him.
You turn around, Reverend, and the world drops into darkness. There is nothing. There is no one. There is no friends. There are no dogs. There is no lake. There is, Reverend, in this moment, no God. Not the one you know. But there is something. And it is smiling in your face. These flames crackling before you. Release.
He pauses for a moment. Oh, in the name of Jesus Christ, the Lord, Savior, and of blessed Michael, the Archangel, and blessed apostles, Peter and Paul, the all saints, what is it that you desire?
Reverend, give me a power roll.
I could do that.
I hope so, for your sake.
Power, 55, maybe not. 22, hard success.
Let's go.
Okay, you get to see the end of the episode. That's great. In this moment, Reverend, as you begin your revelationary kind of speech at this moment to protect yourself, to condemn this spirit, you feel as you're saying those words, I call upon the power of from this gospel, and I speak of Matthew, and I speak of, and what your mouth seems to not open. It seems to close. It seems to not want to open, almost against your will. And you find yourself in this void, in this expanse of nothingness. And this flame mouth entity is gone. It's you, silenced in this space, not able to speak, just able to see, to take it all in. The emptiness of everything. Dr. McDonald, come on down. Whilst you're kneeling, covered in some dog slobber of this giant god dog that you're not too opposed to, considering you seem to have quite an affinity with God Dog and Mr. Fireface. At this point, Dr. McDonald, when this dark void consumes you, how do you react to it? How do you respond to it?
Yes, I will do, Firemouth. I will do anything that you want. You've spared us. You, obviously, we are in your good graces now. Just tell me more than these 2 words that you keep repeating. I'll do whatever you want. I'll do whatever you want, Firemouth.
Each of you, separately, not together, completely independently, individually, isolated and alone, you realize that you are living the experience that Anna herself has experienced. You see what she saw. You are granted a vision from the affectionately known Firemouth. You see Sam Madson wandering weakly around Burger Castle, wandering around, moving from a freezer across the floor, unsteady feet to a frying station. He seems to have come from further, but back in the kitchen. Has he moved those freezers around? Before you can see the freezers and make any intuitive understanding, he thrusts his arm into the fryer. You can hear it sizzling. You can hear it cooking. There's no screaming. There's no shouting. There's no pain. But he waits until it's cooked. And then he pulls his arm out and inspects it with a watering mouth and a wide-eyed sense of greed. Christina, you can see that he is glowing with this green aura as he bites into his forearm and peels off a significant part of the flesh and muscle culture beneath, chewing, and chewing. You can feel his pain. He can't, but you can. You can feel his pain. It's unbearable. Your arm is an agony, but he doesn't stop. He takes another bite and another and another, and he chews until his mouth is full, until he's choking on his own flesh and bone is exposed, and he gives his heart its last beat in this moment. It pumps, it beats, it chokes, and then it stops. You feel this heart attack. It feels like a warning. You feel it in your heart that this will happen, and it will happen soon. But then the vision changes, and you feel this warning changing to something else. Reverend, you see the members of your congregation are all gathered happily in your church, and they're listening to your sermon. But then someone in the crowd coughs, and then another person coughs. They're coughing blood, splattering onto each other, one after another, choking one after another, dying, falling in each other's laps, dropping to the ground. Where did you go wrong? What did you do? You swore to protect people. You swore to look after your flock. And now they're dead, Reverend. Why would your God allow this to happen? Wendy, your mother, Jackie, is walking in the evening night, Looks like she's on her way to pick you up from work, which she does almost every day without fail, almost in a reverse parental situation where she's the child who's so excited to see her parent come home from work. She's the mother who's so excited to see her daughter come home from work. But it's dark, and you can see a group of rowdy men nearby, and they follow her. But then they attack her. What do they want? It's not her money. It's not anything. They just attack her. But she's left alone, and you're not there. You're busy. You're busy with work. You're busy answering phones. You're busy signing documents. When they're done, she's left on the ground, bruised and bleeding. And you almost see in that blood, Wendy, a name. Your name. Your name in blood. You've seen people's name in blood before. Why shouldn't it be yours? Vina, your beautiful son, Carl, is hiking in the lovely green space in Ireland. He's strong. He's so brave. He's so He trips. His foot must have been caught on something. He's okay because he's rolling down a hill. It's a green hill. But he does come to some rocks at the bottom, and when he lands on those rocks, you hear a snap. You see his leg split in two, bone and blood, flesh showing. He's screaming, Vina. He's crying for his mother. He's crying for you. There is no one around. And you know many, many hours pass before he says your name for the last time, and he gives up, and he stops fighting. Christina, you see your friends and your housemates in Wichita, and they're laughing and dancing. They're having a smoke. They're having a drink. You see that ashtray that you gave Jenny, the comedy ashtray that's like a shell but also looks like something a little bit rude. Someone's got their joint in the ashtray. It's a comedy ashtray. It's not built for purpose. The joint falls out. The tablecloth catches fire, but everyone's too busy. Dancing, drinking, half awake. The flames catch. Doors don't open, but there are screams. You hear people running around trying to escape. The house burns, Christina. You see them burn, Christina. Everything burns, Christina. Your friends, your instruments, your life, everything turns to dust. Except a letter for an insurance claim which says you've received a significant amount of money because of their demise. Can everybody give me a SAN roll, please?
Pass. 35 versus 49.
Failure for Dr. McDonald.
Sorry,
Oh.
big fail on Wendy, 97 over 47.
Okay.
Success. 45 under 77.
Okay. If you made a success, that is a 1d3. If you failed, it's a 1d6.
Just one.
So I rolled a 5 on my d6, which is actually a 3, if you will.
Ooh, two
Yes.
loss here.
Excellent. And just let me know what SAN you've lost, Reverend.
Just one. So I'm at 48 out of 55. So 7
Perfect.
total.
Thank you. Christina?
I lost 3, and I'm on 74 out of 80.
Perfect. Dr. McDonald? Outstanding. Wendy?
I lost 2 that round, and overall I'm sitting on 45 over or under 50.
Okay. regardless of how long you were in the void, time seems to have moved in a most unique manner. But what you appear to have seen of this last moment, your each individual fears of what you could lose, what your greed could take away from you in this moment, you see Sam Madson lying on the floor outside of Burger Castle, his own arm eaten, blood all over his mouth and his chest. And those words, soon. This will happen soon. It's less words and more of a feeling. They sit with you. You all come to. You're by the lake. The mist is surrounding, but you are next to this hut. You are next to this building, which is a metal corrugated hut. I'm going to throw it over to you. What do you do?
I think the Reverend probably doubles over and is sort of dry retching. Gosh, wipes his mouth. Did any of you just experience something terrible?
Vina is looking out over what I assume is a sunset.
Yeah, I think that's fair at this time. Yeah.
Yeah. Watching it go down, trying to find a moment of joy in a stressful situation on purpose. She's trying to sort of reorient herself and calm herself. And as she watches it, she says, "Yeah, yeah, I guess I did. Huh. Well, shall we start the fire or?"
What do you mean you guess you did? I saw my son. I saw my son hiking and it was horribly fell. There was no one there. No one was going to come. And Dr. Vina's, there's tears running down her probably dirty face from supplicating herself to God Dog and running through the forest.
I am.
Well,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, Wendy.
Oh, we should do this thing where we just keep going back and forth, going, no, you go, you go, no, you go.
I think
No,
that does
you.
happen.
I think that does happen. Yeah, okay, you go.
So what I'm going to do is, oh, sorry.
My face is washed out with tears where it's just like I can't stop crying, but it's not that ugly sob. It's just more like an evacuation of tears. There's this weird disassociation happening where I'm experiencing this, but I'm slowly stepping away from the experience. So the tears are running down my face. I don't say a word. I'm going to get up. I'm going to look around and check my immediate surroundings. Okay, good. This is actual ground. Okay, I'm standing on actual ground. I didn't lose any paperwork. At least I hope I didn't. I'm going to go and I'm going to pick the Reverend up wordlessly. I'm just going to help him up from the dry retching on the ground. And then I'm going to move towards whatever this cabin is. I'm not going to acknowledge what anyone else said. I am not going to engage with anyone else right now. What can I control? Let's do that.
Okay, brilliant. You get the Reverend up. You go over to the cabin. It appears that the door is locked. There's a lock. You don't have a key.
That's just insult to injury right now after everything we just went through. Like, that's petty. That's trolling in storytelling.
Sorry.
No, you're not.
This is a cabin in the woods. So there's windows that can't be particularly. Christina's going to take a look around and see if there's an obvious way to break in.
Yep. There's a window, kind of foot and a half wide, foot tall. Looks like it could easily be broken into.
Is there like a handy little flower pot that you lifted up and there might be a key or, a little stone or something like that?
Give me a luck roll, Reverend.
Reach up to the top of the door.
Ooh, at least it's not a group luck check.
So 57 luck. I got a 17.
You look under the flower pot and there is a key. And
nice.
With a 17 under 57, on the keychain, you've got the initials AM.
Well, I believe this will be Anna. Just hold off with that rock there, Christina. I think we can get this door open in a more conventional manner.
You throw the key through the window.
Yes.
You throw the key through the window.
That key slides into the lock, Reverend. Door clicks open, and you find your way in. It actually looks more like a working allotment shed almost. You can just see there's lots of samples around. There's a few kind of notebooks, but they all look very very environmentally aimed. You can see even without any kind of a search roll necessary here, everything is just open in here. There's nothing hidden or anything like that. You are welcome to make those rolls, but I can tell you as the keeper that there's no specific hidden aspects to this. It's just a hut. But what you actually see is on the table there's like an open ring binder, and there's almost these hole punched really healthy recipes that have been put in there. And you kind of just see these things, but what you see is there's another picture which is almost exactly the same as the one that you've seen before, where Anna has hand drawn this vision that she's had, this Mr. Firemouth with his shadowed tentacular visage outside Burger Castle, with what appears to be her husband Sam lying dead, bleeding after eating his own fried arm.
There's a folder of recipes next to it.
Yes.
And there's not one of deep fried husband or something in those
There's
recipes.
Not deep fried husband, Lord. Oh, that's so good.
That's the next cabin over.
That's the next cabin over is deep fried husband. Gotcha. This is healthy recipes.
Yes.
This is spring salad. Okay.
Air fried husband.
Air fried husband. Yeah.
Get in that air fryer. Breathe in.
Yes.
So, I mean, if this was one of those murder mysteries by that young woman Agatha Christie over in the Britain, I'm sure this would be the solution to the mystery. And he's going to be sort of like flicking through, like wandering the room and just looking into things. But this just doesn't seem to be anything. I don't see how this solves our problems at all.
Christina, I believe I have one of those theories that you're always talking about.
Here we go. Walking into a segment.
Cthulhu News at 10.
Dr. Vina's theories. Hello, Christina's not here right now. It's Dr. Vina with a hot theory for you.
I'm right here. Tell me all about it.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, so Christina, here's a thought. Now, what if those things that we saw was totally unnecessary, but Mr. Firemouth was a threat of some sort? I can't help but thinking that he's tied somehow to this man, and that we need to release him. We need to get Mr. Firemouth free, else he will. I don't think he likes being tied to that man, and he's threatening us if we don't do his bidding. It'll kill our families and do whatever else he showed the rest of you.
I agree. I think this has nothing to do with the ledger. I think this is something completely different. I just don't know what.
That Chekhov's ledger.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it does have something to do with it, because the ledger tied him to this man, and he doesn't like being tied to that disgusting man.
But it didn't happen with anyone before him. No one else who's interacted with this ledger has had all these things. I think there's more than one thing going on here.
There's something wrong, yes.
Christina, do you believe yourself when you're saying this, or are you trying to get Dr. McDonald off the scent of the ledger?
Christina is of the opinion that it must be something else, because so far no one else has ever died from this ledger because of what we've learned so far. So she thinks that Mr. Firemouth is, if not unrelated to the ledger, at least not not a direct result of the light. It's not like he signed his name and therefore Firemouth is after him. There is more, and we don't know what that is.
He's displeased with this offering. He must have a physical form in order to operate in this world, and somehow this current physical form is displeasing to him. I could understand why, because it was displeasing to me as well, vile man. And so perhaps he wants to hitch his wagon to another wagon.
As you're proposing this theory about hitching wagons to other wagons, something happens that makes you all jump out of your skin. The phone rings, and you realize that against the back wall there is a landline that is attached within this really unique out of nowhere place. So it is something that kind of spooks you, but the phone begins ringing, and it does make everybody kind of jump in that moment.
I look at Wendy.
I was about to say, like, oh, the secretary goes to answer. That's like a dog whistle for her. Oh, is there a phone ringing? Hold on. I'm on my way.
Wendy, you pick up the phone?
I do. And she's going to answer with something like Madston's residence, or Madston's cabin, or Madston's lab. It's going to be a formal greeting.
You hear on the other side, ma'am, it's Jackson, your driver. I wanted to just check in now. It's been about coming up 4 hours now since I dropped you off.
Oh, I immediately looked down at my watch. There's no way. That was like, we've been down here 20 minutes.
Time has passed. You are now, you came down here and it was like early afternoon, and now as Christina saw the sun setting.
Sun was setting.
It's late.
Yes, you can come pick us up. While I'm on the handset receiver and I'm looking over my party mates here, are any of us injured that I can tell? Did anyone take any sustainable damage during that entire incident?
Yeah, you can see
I'm a
Christina
little bloodied.
Yeah. Christina still got the injury on her shin for where she stepped through the glass coffee table. And also you can see on the back of her dress around her right buttock, she seems to be bleeding a little bit there.
Okay. Yes, please come pick us up. And I'm going to put that receiver back down. Man. And I'm going to look at the group. Look back at my watch. Look at the group. So we're going to talk to Mr. Madson, right?
I feel he's probably in danger at this point. I feel it almost, this prophecy, whatever it is, feels like it's impending.
There's a couple things I'd like to point out
at this point.
No, you're fine, baby. Listen, and plus international connections too. That lag is funny. There are a few things I would like to point out to the group. We didn't die, and we should have. Time is not moving the way time should be moving. And if all of our visions are consistent based on what I'm hearing from the group, those torturous visions were a warning of what could happen if we succumb to our desires over the things that are actually important. I'm not entirely convinced that Mr. Firemouth is an actual antagonist in this scenario. He may be asking us to save Mr. Madson. That's unverified information, but our ride is going to be here in about 20 minutes. We should go.
There's a recipe book on the counter?
Yes. Healthy recipes. Lots of vegetables, lots of salads, lots of meals that don't revolve around bread and meat and cheese.
And is there ingredients for said salads here?
Oh, I love where Hedge is going with this.
I don't see why not.
I'm gonna make him. Christina has a new theory.
Dun, 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 Cthulhu news.
Christina is going to prepare a salad, and we are going to go and attempt to. She is going to go and attempt to force Sam to eat it to see if that fixes anything.
Okay, cool. So in the 20 minutes it takes Jackson, the driver, to get here, to pick you up, you're able to put together this quite raw salad because you are kind of in a greenhouse environment. But yeah, absolutely, you can put together kind of a bit of a raw salad. I'm sure in some restaurants you pay a fortune for it. And then collectively, the short walk back to the car, it's probably quite a spooky walk because it's still misty. It's dark now. I would say that you found a couple of flashlights in the actual hut itself. Get to the car. Jackson's there. He's there, and he will kind of say, Ms. Levine, where is it you wanted me to take you?
Please take us to Burger Castle.
Okay. And without saying anything else, no questions asked. You can tell that Jackson's paid quite a lot because he never asks questions and he's very good at his job. He takes you directly to Burger Castle. You get there, it's late. Now we're talking like real late. We're talking like kind of 11:30, coming up midnight at this point. Time has passed, sun's down. It's December, so the sun goes down much later as well. And you find yourself getting out of the car at Burger Castle. The door to Burger Castle is a little bit open. There are some lights on inside. The car park appears to be empty. Apart from Wendy, I'm going to say you immediately recognize Sam's car.
Okay.
There is another car there. But you don't recognize the license plate.
Okay.
Well, suppose, just to add a complication to this potential mystery, that car could belong to one Eddie Irving or William Andrews by any chance?
Reverend, do you know them well?
If they're part of the congregation, I think he's probably one of those people that are quite good with names and faces.
What role would we use to decipher that knowledge?
I would say that it would be like, I don't want to say appearance, but if it was like D&D, I would say it'd be a charisma role because that's how he manages his congregation. His that ability to recognize a name and a face and remember their family and their daughter and their job and everything. That's not his intelligence, it's just his natural persona.
I really like that.
Is it charm?
I'll have a look at my character sheet and I will tell you in a moment. Where would it be? Yeah,
I actually really like that.
Yeah, I think it's probably charm.
I'm umming and ahhing as to whether to make this a hard roll because I think within the circumstances of the evening and everything that's happened and the events and things, I think let's say a hard charm roll, and if you're able to achieve this, we'll see.
Okay, so versus 75.
That's one charming son of a gun.
53. So what would that be? It's about 15 luck, I'd guess. I'm happy to spend 15 luck on that.
Let's go. This is the 11th hour. Let's rock.
Some luck. 37 would be your hard roll.
So 16 luck then. I'm happy to do that.
So I like that. So with to be fair, then with a 16 luck spend and a hard charm roll, it is William and Eddie's car.
Here we go.
Well, they turn up to your congregation in the same car. They drive together. They leave together. They're best friends. They always have been. They always will be. That's their bloody car.
Well, this is an unexpected complication. That is the previous owners of this restaurant car. And if I'm right in saying so, they were not too pleased to be selling this to Mr. Madison. Am I right, Wendy?
Yes, Reverend, that's correct. They accepted an offer. It was exorbitant, but I get the impression that they weren't really looking to sell.
I mean, I can't quite piece the puzzles now. I feel like we've got some edge pieces and maybe a corner, but I can't see the picture in front of me. But could they be the antagonist? Could they be somehow behind this? I mean, they're God-fearing folk. I don't know them too well, but I would never have thought they'd be behind this.
Christina rushes in.
Brilliant.
I love that.
Christina's running in. Christina, as you're kind of running in, you do hear two voices that are both two male voices that you haven't heard before. That are, both of them are kind of going, Sam, Sam, Mr. Madson, where are you?
Uh-oh.
Christina, you run in, you rush in, and you see these two, I would say, kind of, slender but healthy-looking individuals. They're kind of the other side of a dark burger diner, so it's hard to discern any key features unless you want to roll for it. But you can see them the other side, kind of checking where all the seating area is. One of which turns to look at you. The other one just kind of goes, Sam. The one that turns to look at you is, Sam.
No, you idiot! And then she just tries to start pushing back them, heading back towards the freezers.
Okay. Perfect. You push past them. They don't stop you at all. You go out towards the freezers. And Christina, one of the freezers, specifically, most definitely, one of the freezers has been pulled out of its location, and you can see that in the flooring under there, some of the tiles have been popped out or pushed down or ripped out, and there seems to be like a series of almost like a ladder, a built-in stone-esque ladder built into the floor leading down.
She's gonna not be particularly stupid, and she's going to turn back and go, "Hey guys!"
Reverend Doctor Wendy, do you follow?
Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, after her.
When I see the two men, can I just say, well, Mr. Owen, Mr. Andrews, what on earth are you doing here so late on an evening?
One of them, William, will turn to look at you, Reverend, as you say that, and they'll look straight at you in the face, eyes wide. They're almost like pale and misty, glazed over, and they look at you going, Sam Madson, is that you?
No, it's Reverend Culver. What the hell's wrong with you boys?
Sam, is that you?
I don't like this at all. I don't like this. We need to find him. And we'll rush through.
Okay, so you run through. You see the freezer's been pulled out. You can see the scratch marks on the floor. You can see there's a hole in the floor.
Before you do, you said the offer of a spot hidden. Can I just examine them just as I'm rushing by? Is there anything odd about them?
Yes, you can, Brett. Yes, you can.
Okay. So
I just made a Pulp Fiction reference. That feels like it was a long time ago.
Oh man,
I feel old. Okay, this is 25. No, with a 67.
Oh, okay. I think the glazed over, almost white, misty-eyed expression spooks you enough to not look too closely. They don't seem themselves. You've seen them in the congregation. You've seen them. These guys are sharp businessmen. They sold this place to Sam, begrudgingly, I think, and they don't seem like sharp businessmen at the minute. They seem like lost old people.
I am happy to push that roll and just something's not right here. He will stop, and as the others rush through, he's going to stop and then look much closer at them and see what's happening here.
I'm going to say you're going to need to get in between them and examine them to push this roll. Does that sound okay?
I think he's really concerned. He knows them, or at least they're a member of his congregation. I think in the back of his mind, he's got his congregation being murdered in horrific fashion, and
yeah.
This is something's not right here. So yeah, absolutely, I'd be doing that. So versus 25.
Versus 25, pushed roll.
5.
Oh my!
You did not stick that landing on a pushed roll on a 25.
Honestly,
come through roll 20.
Guy, this reverend.
Tell a story. Let's go.
Okay, so you get between these guys, and you can see their eyes are misted over almost in this cataract sense that it's not just you're not just seeing this in the darkness of the burger joint. You've seen this before, Reverend. possibly in false accusations of possession, but they look as if they are asleep. They look
interesting.
as if they are sleepwalking. They look sleep deprived. They look completely out of it, not conscious. And as you stand between them and you look from William to Eddie and back into, they're almost, they can see you moving, but their response is slow, wavy. Sam, Mr. Madson, is that you? We gotta, we need to get down to the
Splash. Holy water goes all over them.
They explode.
They explode.
The Reverend walks out, gets in the car,
Fire
drives
explosions
off.
behind the Michael Bay.
Oh yes, Quentin Tarantino, it guys. Yeah.
You splashed them with holy water, and they're wetter than they were a few seconds ago. It doesn't have an effect on waking them up, I'm afraid. Reverend.
And I guess at this point, the others have.
You can almost hear the voices now from down, kind of, you know, Christina's led the charge, the doctors followed, Wendy's followed. They're going down into this cave, which we'll actually switch to now, Reverend, and then you can let me know what your next plan is. So Christina, first one down, then Doctor, then Wendy. You find yourselves kind of going down these steps. You find yourself going into this almost perfectly carved out oval chamber that the rock walls have been perfectly smoothed. It seems rather empty. There's two significant aspects to this chamber, one of which is on a pedestal right in the middle, a strange bowl in the shape of a anatomical half human heart with sharp razor edges. The other pedestal, a foot or two away, there is a open book. And with the open book, it's just lying there. It's open on a page.
More recipes, healthy ones.
More good guide, fasting diet recipes. But what you actually see is Sam Madson standing over this half-heart anatomical bowl. With one hand, he is ramming a burger into his mouth. With the other hand, he is squeezing his own hand, which appears to be dripping blood, into this basin. What would you like to do? We'll just start in the order that you came down with. In fact, no, we'll go in reverse order because we made Wendy go last time. Wendy, what would you like to do?
So we're all in the chamber. This isn't like I'm stuck on a flight of stairs or anything.
No, you've all come down. You've taken a few steps. You've looked around the room. You're all there. What do you do?
Okay, so I'm going to cautiously approach us, like my head is on a swivel looking right to left. Mr. Madson, can you hear me?
Oh,
it's Wendy. And I'm going to approach.
Wendy, my girl, squeeze my hand, would you, doll? Give it a good squeeze.
What are you doing?
Squeezing my hand. Come on now, we gotta get blood into this bowl. Squeeze my hand.
I am going to, with like a shaky hand, reach out for his hand, but this is more just like, oh, he wants something, so he's focused on me. I can leverage that in this moment. So it's kind of just like that hesitation where I'm moving towards his hand. What the fuck is on this book in front of me?
Oh, okay. So are you looking at the book then rather than squeezing the hand?
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. But I will draw out. I'm on my way to squeeze out his hand for the 2-3 seconds I can get.
You, Wendy, see the pages open on this. And what I'd like you to do, if it's okay, Wendy, is read it for me.
Didn't I get caught with the reading last time? That's good times.
You did.
That's good times. But you know what? It makes sense for Wendy. This is a wonderful.
So this is you can immediately see that this is an old, ancient piece of parchment within a very old, ancient book, and you can see that this is written in a rather significant red ink maybe perhaps similar to the ledger you once saw as well.
I love it. All right, guys, I'm looking down. It's the Grim Hound's Feast. A warning. The human heart must be maintained full of fresh, suitable blood straight from a human vein. Do not attempt to trick the hound with magical, inactive, or non-human alternatives. It will go hungry, and consequences will ensue. Instructions on appropriate dispensation of blood. The dispensation can only occur at the correct time of night, with the correct blood, and with the correct accompanying chant to solidify it as an offering. Utilizing the sharp edge of the human heart to lacerate the wrist and let the blood flow into the receptacle is recommended. When the hound is satiated, for the present, it will present itself in appreciation. Repeat the chant slowly and carefully the entire time. Hila han laren shunake. Take greatest care. Do not let the grim hound go hungry. It is a ferocious and bloodthirsty creature. It will eventually unleash itself to quench its thirst by force. It cannot be killed, just contained. Maintain the ritual, or lives will be lost.
So Christina and Dr. McDonald, you are directly next to Wendy as Wendy is literally reading this out loud. Reverend, yep. I'm happy to have essentially you coming down the ladder if that's your wish at this point, so that you hear this as well, if that's something that you wish. So you are all aware of this arcane text, this Grim Hound's Feast, and Sam is there with his burger. I'd say the next thing you see, he's squeezing his own hand over this anatomical half-heart bowl, and as he drops blood into the bowl, he dips his burger in his own blood, kind of mops it up, and then takes a bite out of it, and he's just kind of going, I'm trying to give blood to this goddamn thing, but I just can't stop myself. My blood is just too goddamn good. I can't fill this bowl. I'm trying to fill this bowl, but I can't fill this bowl. You gotta help me. You gotta help me. And then when he takes a bite this time, like almost like a rabid, ravaging bite, he bites an entire digit of his finger off. He just crunches straight through the bone and the flesh, and you hear it tear, and he just kind of goes, oh God, that is good.
God in heaven, what have we let ourselves in for here?
We have sand rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea. Thank you. Good reminder. Let's have sand rolls.
I love the way the Hedge rolled that out.
Just creep towards
I'm notorious for forgetting about sand rolls. I get so wrapped up in the story, I forget to ask for them.
It's an easy thing to forget.
Hedge in particular is kind of freaked out, so he figures that. Though Christina is fine.
No,
I passed too.
Nah, this ain't a great day for Wendy. I failed.
Okay, so Dr. McDonald and Christina, our resident nutcases, actually seem to be pretty okay with what's going on at the moment. So for you guys, it is just 2 points of sanity that you lose. For the Reverend and for Wendy, it is going to be a 1d4 plus 1, please.
There's 4 points, so down to 44. Oops. Let me roll that again.
Ooh. That's going to be a 5. I'm going to go ahead and give you this intelligence check now.
Yes, please.
Oh, but I succeeded on my intelligence check.
Which is not good. Okay.
I think I've passed my 5th right now. So the 5th of 55 would be 11. So
so did I.
11 sanity total. So I've lost my 5th in that game day.
Okay, I'm loving it. So
we made it until the 11th hour, dude.
No, this is great.
We made it all the way into the moment and then fumbled.
So do you want me to do an intelligence roll?
Yes, please. Yes, I do.
There's a 97.
Oh, good for you.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
You can still make him go insane because he's lost his 5th.
Oh, that's
right, because he's an attempt. Yeah.
So let's go with Wendy first. So Wendy, we're going kind of bout of madness here, rather than indefinite insanity, which we'll come to in a minute. So Wendy, you know, in this moment, seeing your employer, he bites through his own finger. You can hear him crunching through the flesh, the nail, the bone, swallowing it down and enjoying it. God, that was the best bite of the best burger that he's ever had. And it was his own flesh. You've seen the visions. You know what's happening. You can see he's trying to put blood in the bowl, but his blood isn't satiating whatever's going on here. It's not working. What do you do, Wendy? How does your madness fall in line with what you see before you?
I follow instructions very well with exacting clarity. If you roll me out instructions, I can follow instructions. So I am going to read through that letter with like exacting clarity. It wants this straight from the vein with this type of sharpening, this type until the hound appears. We need to get the hound here. It can't be killed. It can only be contained. People will die. So I am going to go ahead and take place and just start enacting this ritual my damn self.
Okay, so the ritual talked about the blood having like a razor-edged side to the bowl. You need to open a vein to do that. Are you willing to do that?
Absolutely. I don't have a choice.
I don't think
people are going to die. People are going to die. We need to make a decision. Whatever he's doing is not working.
So, Christina, Dr. McDonald, Reverend Culver, you see Wendy step forward, place her hand on the side of the bowl and slide it, her wrist perhaps even, slide it across and then hold it over the bowl. And then there is this spatter, this trickle, this drain, and squeezing the arm, squeezing the blood down out of the arm. Wendy, can you give me a 1d4, please?
Listen, I'll give you anything you want, babe. Where are we going? You said a 1d4?
Yes, just for starters.
Those are things I can accommodate. You give me a second. I'm coming.
Okay.
3.
Okay, well, in that moment, you lose 3 hit points. You squeeze out. You've hit a vein bigger than you probably initially expected, but that's pleasing. That's good. It's exciting.
No, this is good. This is the right thing.
You're not just following the instructions. You're going above and beyond the instructions. Sam is going to be so happy with you.
That is what I always do. I always excel. I go above and beyond, and this hound is going to recognize it. They're going to recognize it. I can save people right now.
Your mum is going to be so proud of you.
She is.
So proud.
She is.
Reverend, you're not going through a bout of madness. You're falling into indefinite insanity here. You are someone who has tried to protect your flock. You've seen upstairs William and Eddie, who are in some weird trance, deep sleep, whatever's going on. Downstairs, you come down, you see Sam, also a part of your flock, although perhaps not quite of the same ilk, cut of the same cloth, but nonetheless, he is one of your sheep. Christina's here. Dr. McDonald's here. Wendy is offering her blood for this sacrifice. Where do you fall with this? Do you feel like this is the way to go? This god, this false god, is someone you should be giving over your lifeblood to? A sacrament? A sacrifice? Or do you feel perhaps there's another route you should take?
Oh, and absolutely not. I think he is going to... This is not okay. This is... everything he stood up through, this is his whole life, particularly since taking the sacrament himself. This is a perversion of that, and he will not let it stand. So he is going to try and smash this bowl and end this ritual. So if it isn't attached to the floor, then he's just going to charge and go like, no, and crack it over. But if he can see that it's sturdy, he's going to look around everywhere for some sort of weapon, some sort of implement to smash this bowl in. But in his insanity, he'll do it quickly. So, if it's a leg of frozen lamb or a chair or a fire extinguisher or whatever it is to reach, he'll be the ladder itself.
Reverend, down here, it's completely bare. The ladder is like carved out of the stone. The only things down here is the pedestal and the bowl.
I think he's still on the ladder. I think because he came last. He's like only just half into the room, like half into the kitchen.
So you can tell me, what do you reach up and get? You will have seen a fire extinguisher. You will have seen cooking utensils. You could go in a fridge and get frozen legs of animals.
Oh no, it would just be so if the fire extinguisher can reach, you'll grab onto it and then leap down and then charge towards this like a battering.
Right, give me a fighting brawl.
Could it be strength?
No, we go with strength because you're not really aiming to fight something. This is more about brute force, isn't it?
Okay, so versus 61. Say 29, hard success.
Let's go.
You slam this fire extinguisher down on this bowl. Remember, this bowl has this razor edge to it. The fire extinguisher pops in your hands and literally like flies out of your hands and hits the side of the stone carved wall and drops to the floor. You hear Sam Madson cursing and some kind of "oh god damn son of a" as he kind of crunches down on another finger, and you hear that kind of snap and crunch, and you look at the bowl. It is intact. It's never looked more beautifully carved, intact. But every drop of blood that lands there from Sam's hand, he is scooping up with his burger and he's eating. But the bowl seems to be filling with blood. That's as much as I'm going to give you right there, Reverend, in your madness. I would say, following this indefinite madness, it feels like this is a train of action that you're planning to follow to try and destroy what's in this room.
Or prevent this ritual, because he did hear, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So. Yeah, no, I'm happy with that. So you're all about stopping or prevention. That's the definite insanity is now, without doubt, without track, without change of discourse or listening to reason. That's what you're doing. Christina, Dr. McDonald, you have just seen Wendy open a vein and start bleeding into this bowl. And then you've seen the Reverend reach up, drop back down, smack a fire extinguisher into this bowl. The fire extinguisher pinged off, at which place everyone's just looked in shock. And Sam Madson has just bitten another one of his fingers off and is crunching down on it. What the bloody hell do you do?
Here we go, Miranda.
Yeah, I've been thinking about what Dr. Vina wants, because Firemouth has not been very direct. His instructions, free him or whatever.
Pretty vague, right?
There's multiple times.
A lot of hymns. There's a lot.
Firemouth has said, "Release me." Come on. Release him.
Did he say release me? He said him.
He's been drinking quite a lot recently, so it's quite confusing.
It's like third person, so that instead of first person. So I think like that's confusing too. Is he the Hound? Who knows at this point? He's tied to this, and the Hound honestly is maybe he'll have more answers to me. And when the Hound is satisfied, it will present itself in appreciation. So
it will.
Like we gotta get it here, right? So I'm on team Wendy. We got to get the dog here. So I'm going to grab the book and start to do the chant.
Okay. And what is
Newman,
the chant?
I need to add something to this.
As Miranda starts to do the chant, Christina, please tell me what it is that you're doing.
If you go back and listen once more to episode 1, you'll discover that on my back is an African drum.
No,
there is an African drum.
I remember. Yeah.
I take it from my back. I place it between my legs.
Appropriate sound effects.
And of course it's that addition of the drum that allows us all to begin chanting at the same time.
Oh, this is going to be so good.
Everybody except Reverend Culver, we need to start chanting in 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All the neighbors think we're totally normal people. Okay, so so at this moment then, so Christina is invested. Dr. McDonald is invested. Wendy is bleeding. Wendy, could you give me a 1d6?
I'm concerned what you want that for, but I'm really excited to find out simultaneously. Let's see here. Where's that dice? D6, babe. That is a 4.
How many hit points have you lost at this point?
Oh, we out here. I'm a believer. We got to get this Hound out here. If I take 6, I will be down to 3 hit points. I'm at 9 out of 12 right now.
9 out of 12.
You got it, baby.
Bridgett, the Hound seems to have appeared on your screen.
It worked.
It's much more pleasant than I thought it was going to be. So I am here for it.
Super comical. The husky was snoring, and I was worried that you guys would hear it. So I shut the door, and then the other two burst in like, "You don't shut doors on us."
Yeah, nice.
The Hound has appeared. The sacrifice has worked.
It's foreshadowing. It's foreshadowing.
It's foreshadowing.
So essentially, what you see, all of you, Reverend, Christina, Dr. McDonald, you see Wendy, almost going a bit kind of lightheaded here, squeezing wrist, pumping that arm, but also just a little bit kind of wobbly, like bloody hell.
Oh, can I be on my knees? Open it because the bowl fell to the floor off of the
bowl's still
attack
there.
from
the bowl hasn't moved. It
hasn't even moved off the pedestal.
No.
Oh, beautiful. So I'm like draped over it at this point as I'm getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and I'm just my actions are slowing down. But I'm doing everything I can.
Where you've draped on it as well, Wendy, it's made small lacerations where you're leaning onto it as well, so there's more blood streaming down into the bowl. The weird thing is the amount of blood that is being drained from you. It doesn't appear that that's the same amount of blood that's filling the bowl. It feels like there's less blood in the bowl, so the more you're draining, it's like if you're tipping a pint of blood into the bowl, it's only like half a pint of blood is actually filling it. That seems to be the nature of how much blood is going in there, and you're feeling woozy. Reverend, just before we jump back to you, while these guys are all very much investing in this ritual, the Grim Hound's feast, Sam at this point is he's kind of like he's got no fingers on one hand now. He's just got a thumb, and he's trying to hold a burger to this fingerless hand that he's kind of finishing. He just goes, "Oh God, I'm not helping here. I'm so hungry. I'm gonna go and get me some. Oh, I need something else to eat." And he kind of pushes past whoever's in his way, and he gets to this stone ladder with one hand, and he's kind of pulling himself up as he goes. Reverend, what do you do in this moment? The others are fully invested in this ritual.
So I think he's torn. I think he's got Bible in one hand, and then as Sam tries to push by him, he's going to have like a glimpse of clarity, and he's going to grab the remains of the burger from his hand, or what's left of his hand, and throw it into this bowl, because they said in the Wendy said when she was reading it that it must not be contaminated, so he's going to purposely contaminate this ritual with non-human blood.
Oh, okay. There is a howl, actually not unlike anything you ever heard before, like one howl that you have heard before at the lakeshore, and this howl echoes downstairs, this rumbling. Oh, Reverend. The bowl immediately drains of all the blood that Wendy's put in.
No.
And it dries. You hear her growling. In this small cavernous space, this gigantic wolf-hound beast appears before you, lips pulled back, snarling. Reverend, you see this hellhound before you. You've contaminated this ritual to not feed it blood. It turns and snaps at Wendy. Wendy.
The disrespect.
Yeah. We're in the last throws, I'm afraid.
Oh, it was delicious. Let's rock.
Wendy, you see this hound look towards you. You can see the intent in its eye. It has not been satiated. This ritual has not been completed. You were so close, like so close. And the drums really helped. But in this moment, Wendy, this dog, this beast, this monster snaps at you in the second before its jaws clamped down either side of your head. Is there anything you say or do?
Yeah, you know how time slows down in like high traumatic moments? So like the bowl empties, this hound appears. I'm assuming the burger is left in the bowl. I'm crying, no, 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 no. I look at the Reverend with this super heartbroken look, and then I make eye contact with the Hound, and I can see this coming down the pipeline. And the only thing I could think in this moment that will have any lasting value before I die, I'm going to turn and make direct eye contact with the Reverend. And I'm just going to say, it's okay. It's not your fault.
Give me a luck roll, Wendy.
Oh, no.
Almost disrespectful to ask for that. That is a 60 over 13.
I think in that moment, as the teeth are coming down and the growling's happening, and the in between that sound of it happening, Reverend, what you actually hear is, it's your fault.
Oh no.
And these teeth just clamp, snap, crack, rip into Wendy as Wendy is ragged across the room and then almost thrown up into the air. Dr. McDonald, Christina, what do you do when you see this? The dog has appeared. It's apparated. It's gigantic. It barely fits in the bloody room, and it's just ripping currently Wendy in half. What do you do?
Away!
So Christina cheers. Excellent.
Dr. McDonald gets down on her knees again. That worked last time. Mr. Dog, God, sorry. I mean, I'll kill that Reverend if you want me to. My most sincere apologies. I'm just trying to please Firemouth. I just want more directions. I just want to know what to do.
Sorry, Newman, that was me trying to run away.
Oh, perfect. Okay, excellent. Christina, you get to the ladder. You run up the ladder. You get to the top of the ladder, and I guess you pop out into the restaurant. What's your plan here, Christina?
I'd go find a car and drive away.
Amazing.
Run, run.
You get to the top, and as you get to the top, you see that William and Eddie are trying to get down, and as they do, you kind of swap places with them. You have a Christina, you have an urge. Give me a power roll, please.
74 versus 80, a success.
Fantastic. You have this urge, and you almost find it within your physicality. It's not something that you need to do too much to it. It's been done over and over, time and again, forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards. But you turn, and before you even know it, you realize you've pushed the freezer back in place. And then you look around. You're at Burger Castle. Why are you in Burger Castle? Oh, your ass hurts. You gotta get out of here. Gotta get out of here. You walk out of the restaurant. The lights flash on the car. Jackson's in the car. You get in. Howdy, ma'am. Are we waiting for the others, or can we go? You have no recollection of the others, Christina.
Others? No, it's just me.
Well, okay, ma'am. Where do you want to go?
Home.
Okay. Good old Jackson. No questions asked. The car pulls out of Burger Castle and starts driving off. Reverend, you find William and Eddie bashing into you. This dog leans down. It bites you. It bites them. It bites you again. It's ripping into torso and flesh and intestines, and everything is spraying and pissing and spilling everywhere, and it's a disgusting mess. In those last moments, Reverend, as you see this hellhound ripping into you and those of your congregation, what are your thoughts or last words?
So I think he's still holding his Bible, which still has this paper half sticking out. And with his last kind of moments, he goes, I release you. And he's just going to rip the paper in half.
Excellent. Okay, I like it. Okay, I like it. Superb. Thank you. Could you give me a power roll in that moment, please, Reverend, just as we talk to Dr. McDonald? Dr. McDonald, you're down on your knees, supplicated before this dog entity, the muzzle now covered in blood, the mouth the size of you almost, and it leans over and it fulfills its promise that it gave you before. Mouth open, slowly moving down, hot, disgusting breath. And it slowly closes on you, Dr. McDonald, as this cavern entrance shuts, never to let light in again, and you feel your body being constricted and crushed and swallowed and pushed further down its gullet as you end up into its stomach, still alive in a void. And your last thoughts, your last feelings are with your son, who's somewhere in Ireland screaming your name. Reverend, your roll?
It was a fail. 70. No, sorry. It was 73 versus 55.
Christina, 2 days pass and you can't really remember why you're in El Dorado. You're in a hotel. You're having a coffee in the morning, listening to the radio. But a news bulletin catches your attention. Well, down here at Burger Castle, we've now managed to put out the flames and the building's now gone down. Now, I'm pleased to report that, unfortunately, though we have found the remains of the new owner, Sam Madson, that his wife has been found safe and sound, staying in Arkham Towers in Massachusetts. But there is an unusual sight of multiple bodies found in some kind of basement down below. It appears that the restaurant had a hidden location. We're not quite sure of the purpose of this location, but we believe that possibly animals were harmed in this incident. In the ashes of the area, we've also seen a number of pad marks and pole marks. But if anybody has any information on this, please do get in touch and let us know what's going on. We'd like to be able to identify those that were down in the hole. And as that's happening, the phone rings, Christina. The hotel phone. The hotel you're randomly staying in when no one knows where you are.
Yeah, okay. I answer it. Hello?
Hello, is that Miss Hardee?
Yes. And with whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Oh, hello, Mr. Hardee. It's Caroline James here. I'm working on behalf of Mr. Madson's estate. I wanted to call because I need to set up a meeting with you. He's named you as a sole occupancy inheritor. Congratulations, Miss Hardee. You've inherited the sole occupation inheritance of Mr. Madson's entire oil factory, his oil rigs, and his oil sites across Midwestern. And also, I do believe, and I have to apologize for this. Well, there's also a burger restaurant, but unfortunately, I do believe it burned down. I apologize for that news.
Oh, is that Anna's husband?
That's right. Be Anna's husband, but Anna has renounced the will, and apparently it's all going to the last employee, which was, I believe, a Wendy Levine, but she's gone missing at this time. So, Miss Christina Hardee, I'd just like to say congratulations. You yourself have just won Call of Cthulhu. And that is where we'll end Act 4.
Yeah!
Can I offer a coda?
Yes, please.
It is about a week later. Christina is with all of her friends partying. There is a slightly jaunty, slightly rude looking ashtray with a joint hanging off the side of it. The joint drops. The fire begins. but Christina has no memory of the previous events.
And that's how you lose Call of Cthulhu.
Lose Call of Cthulhu.
Okay, so what we're going to do is ask you what your favorite moment. Now, this could be a moment of within the actual narrative, within the actual scenario, or it could be something that you and another player got to do. But what we'd like to know is what is a favorite moment. And what we'll do is Hedge, we'll come to you first. We'll go in reverse order. So Hedge, then we'll go to Miranda, then we'll go to Bridgett, then we'll go back to Joe. So what is a favorite moment?
I, first of all, really enjoyed the scenario. I've been mostly really looking forward to reading this one because I've read Phaedra's other work and I'm super excited to read this one. I was so excited when I realized we were going to get a really cool ritual to finish it up. Because I think that's a really fun way to end a Call of Cthulhu scenario. And when it all fell in place, when there was something below, I loved it. It's very Phaedra, it's very her style, and it was really exciting to see it because I hadn't expected it. It was like a double blend. I expected it and love it.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And you're right, very Phaedra. Miranda.
I really liked I know we joked about Christina's theories, but I think we all had theories. And I felt like that was super fun throughout to try to each time you got a new piece of information, try to incorporate it somehow. And I don't think any of us really had what was going on.
Any idea what was going on.
Any idea what was going on. But it was fun to play with the clues. It's so easy, like we all I know this the salad.
That's the salad all of us.
But
should have been the finishing shot
fun
when the salad.
Like we all play a lot of games, we all play a lot of Call of Cthulhu. So in your brain you find you are constantly trying to just figure out what's going on. So even when you're trying to figure out what's going on, it's not what's going on is I think a fun surprise.
Amazing. Thank you, Miranda. And Bridgett.
I mean, well, damn it. I was going to do the Christina taglines too, because that was just a fun, refreshing aspect of the game. So I will tag team because I have the mic and you're not going to stop me. I love you, Playhouse. Miranda's labeling of shit the entire game kept getting funnier and funnier to me. Like Dog God never got unfunny to me. Mr. Firemouth never got unfunny to me. Those were great to alleviate just the stress on the nervous system. Also, Sam Maston was super uncomfortable from the moment he walked onto the stage to the moment he walked off of it. Like, I hated being in scenes with that man, and that's just impressive role play and impressive writing.
I loved it when we all arrived at the restaurant the second time. Do you want to speak to him? Nah. Let's go somewhere else.
Let's all go speak to Sam. You gonna talk to him?
No.
I think Bridgett, Phaedra has created a really great character for NPC character there for a keeper to be able to deliver information through. And I think if you're anything like me and you love kind of doing that, which hopefully you could probably tell as we did this.
Oh yeah, we knew Newman.
Yeah, as a keeper,
you enjoyed yourself.
I loved it. Love playing that horrible piece of crap because it was just really good fun. But he also gives hopefully something for the investigators to really kind of sink their teeth into if we're staying on brand.
Freezing.
Joe.
I mean, I'd probably echo what everyone said. I did love Sam. I thought he was a brilliant character. Again, this is my first time on the Playhouse, so it was a great introduction. But I just loved the players. I just loved how all the characters were very distinct and really kind of showed their, like, not their profession, but the sort of essence of their character, but also that we weren't necessarily all buddy the whole time. And there was that kind of antagonism against each other and that conflict, but it never felt that it was getting in the way of the story. Which I thought was brilliant. Like, I loved the kind of bit with Wendy and my character, the Reverend, in the car where we had that moment that was really cool. But then it never felt that we went too far down the antagonism route. They were actually trying to stop each other in an unfun way. Like, it was always driving the story forward. It was always that but next and then. It was really cool. Like, it felt really that we were building on each other's stuff in a really cool way.
Well, absolutely, I completely agree with that. In fact, there's two things from me. One very much echoes Joe, and I'm glad you said it's your first time on the Playhouse, Joe, with the natural assumption that you're definitely going to be coming back. Because if you, yeah, we would love to have you. We've got emotional blackmail on Bridgett. We've got literal physical blackmail on Miranda. Hedge made the blood pact. So Joe, it'd be lovely if you voluntarily came back, because the other guys kind of have to. But a wicked, I have to say, really, really good fun bunch of people to sit down and play with. Really, really good fun. I think Hedge off air, you kind of said, oh, really cool energy, but you're right. And it's just because, what a really great group of people to play with. Wherever you are and you're on these, that's the whole point of getting into groups like the Playhouse or Symphony or How We Roll or Old Ways. Wherever you are, finding groups of people to play games like this with is kind of the whole point. So make sure that you can kind of keep reaching out to people, because they are out there and they do want to play. Which 100%, which is in essence what this all is. I would say, and Phaedra, this is a confession / regret, because I know Hedge is gonna like forensically go through this scenario now and kind of be like, what did Newman do? There is
I
one
can neither
thing.
confirm nor deny.
There is one thing that I wish that I'd done a bit better, although I did really enjoy the way we did it, but in my head I was going to play it a different way. But things, no plan survives contact with the enemy, does it? You guys being the enemy. There was one thing, which was, there is supposed to be, and the reason why Eddie and William were there, the reason why Sam a couple of times throughout the scenario when you met him had lost time, is that, and when you guys had lost time speaking to Captain Firemouth, is that whenever someone goes down into that ritual room, they conduct the ritual, they give their blood, when they come back out, they've got no memory of it. And that has happened to anybody and everybody that's done it. So William and Eddie over the years have repeatedly been down there doing this ritual in the middle of the night, but no memory of it. They're just there, almost sleepwalking their way through it. But when Sam Madson did it, and he had this curse blessing of greed upon him, and he couldn't give over his blood, it was tainted, it was improper, everything started to go wrong. The hound started to come out, and it was the memory thing was something I wish I'd have played with a bit more, but I really loved the way that it landed with Christina at the end. So I felt really validated as a keeper in terms of trying to hit a narrative point for you guys to try and give a really nice, a kind of meaning to it. I think the way that with Christina, it worked really, really well. Selfishly, if we had another 8 hours to play, I would have continued to play with the time and the memory thing. But I have to say, guys, you guys did an amazing job, and it was really fun and lovely. Picking up on Joe's point, to see you guys being pals, not being pals, and it didn't affect anything. It actually made it, I think, a very strong group of investigators going through this. So thank you all for your time, your patience, and your sanity, and your luck as well, Wendy. Thank you for all that luck.
Oh, I'm here for you. Anytime you need 46 points jump or a $20 bribe, holler at your girl. I got the Playhouse.
Amazing, guys. Thank you so much for your time, your patience, your amazing characters. Fantastic scenario. The Castle Agreed by Phaedra Florou. Phaedra, I've taken extreme liberties with your wonderful, wonderful scenario and story. And it really is. Please give it a look, give it a go. It's a fantastic scenario. There's so much in there, to explore and to play with. Can I just ask, before we go, wonderful, wonderful peoples, what we're going to do is, Joe, we'll start with you, and then we'll come across to our wonderful Wendy Levine, and then our Dr. Vina McDonald, and then over to Christina Hardee. So just tell us who you are, where we can find you, because you guys have been absolutely amazing. Joe.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a real blast. So my name is Joe Trier. I'm the host, producer, and one of the founders of How We Roll podcast. You can find us everything we do at howwerollpodcast.com. We do Call of Cthulhu, Pop Cthulhu, Alien, Root, but loads of different RPGs. And we've got D&D on there, full Rime of the Frostbitten campaign. I've also just written a scenario called In Darkness We Wait with Vina, Rena Hines, which is available on Misconstruct Project and about to go silver, I think. I'll have to check the numbers. But that's pretty cool. So yeah, come check us out. HighRollPodcast.com.
Amazing. Bridgett.
Hi guys, it's Bridgett. You can catch me at Symphony Entertainment at symphonyentertainment.com. We do publishing, we do sensitivity reading, we do podcasting, we do streaming, we do anything that's like flirtatious, fun, thirsty, and has to do with horror role playing. As the rest of the Playhouse was like, yeah, also facts. And then also, the content that we just played is a gold bestseller, I do believe, on the Miskatonic Repository. You could be writing content on the Miskatonic Repository too. The only thing that's really stopping you may actually just be you. So feel free to reach out to me. I work for Chaosium, and one of the facets of my job is to help you bridge that gap. So if you're looking to write for Call of Cthulhu or 7th City or RuneQuest or eventually Pendragon, feel free to hit me up at Bridgett at chaosium.com. That's a bridge that you walk across with 2 T's at chaosium.com. This is going to be the last little sign off I at least say in this one. If you pay Newman or Hedge, they will let you roll some fun shit if you donate to the Playhouse. I am 2 for 2 for buying fun experiences 100%. In the moment on this platform. I love you, Playhouse. Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, that's amazing. I think our tagline should be Miskatonic Playhouse. We can be bought.
We can be bought.
That's it.
Story for sale.
And I'm Miranda. You can find me as Don't Stop Me Now on Discord everywhere, poking around here on the Playhouse and also over on the Old Ways podcast where I'm on the Delta Greencast. And I'm playing some stuff over on Symphony too, because we're doing public access right now. And so I like to dabble a little bit of everything. And so, yeah, just find me. Oh, and soon, depending on when this comes out, maybe Roll Better. Probably Roll Better. You can find me there.
Check out Roll Better, because we all need to roll better, especially Hedge. Hedge.
Hi, I'm Hedge. I'm the backstage manager at the Miskatonic Playhouse. No one knows what that actually means, but I assure everyone that if I didn't do my job, everything would collapse. Find me on Blue Sky at John the Hedge. In fact, find me pretty much everywhere at John the Hedge. Come watch me jump off things for a living. I juggle things on Instagram if you want. And mostly find me on the Miskatonic Playhouse where I bully Newman.
And I'm T.A. Newman, who spends most of my time being bullied by Hedge at the Miskatonic Playhouse, which is a mutual love relationship, so it's okay. But come find us there. Come to the Miskatonic Playhouse on Discord, but also, as you can see here with Joe, with Bridgett, with Miranda, we just love doing stuff with cool people. So get involved, get in there, start talking to us. And if you've got a scenario, send it to us and have a look at us. We'll see if we can run it. Big love. Peace out. See you on the flip side.
Bye, guys.
That concludes The Castle of Greed by Phaedra Florou. Look out for the Inside the Mind interview coming soon. Thank you as ever to Sirenscape for their sound design tools. And of course, thank you to the team working behind the scenes at the Miskatonic Playhouse. And thank you for being a wonderful audience. If you have enjoyed this episode, then please leave a review wherever you watched or listened to this production. We want to carry on bringing you these mainstage productions, so if you'd like to support us further, please take a look at our Ko-fi. That's ko-fi.com/Miskatonic Playhouse, and our website, www.miskatonicplayhouse.com. You can also find us on all the social media platforms with links found in the show notes. The management would like to request that patrons not sign any soul-binding contracts on theatre property, as god dog hair is a bugger to get out of the carpet. Until next time, when the curtain rises again.